What if I told you that with just one simple word, you could make anyone instantly like you more? Or that there's a specific way to ask for something that makes people almost unable to say no? These aren't magic tricks or manipulation tactics. They're scientifically backed psychological principles that govern how every human brain works. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 12 of the most powerful ones that can completely transform how people respond to you. But here's what's fascinating. Most people go their entire lives without knowing these secrets, wondering why some individuals seem to effortlessly command respect, build instant rapport, and get others to eagerly help them. The difference isn't charisma or luck. It's understanding how the human mind really works. So if you've ever felt invisible in conversations, struggled to get people to take you seriously, or wondered why some people just seem to have this magnetic quality that draws others in, pay close attention, because what you're about to learn will change everything. Secret number 1, the invisible magnet. Here's something that will blow your mind. There's one word that acts like an invisible magnet for human attention. When you use it, people literally cannot ignore you. That word is their name, but not just any use of their name. There's a specific technique that makes it incredibly powerful. Most people either never use names, or they use them awkwardly, like they're reading from a script. The secret is in the timing and tone. When you want someone's full attention, say their name at the beginning of your sentence, not the end. Sarah, I need to ask you something. Hits completely different than, I need to ask you something, Sarah. The first version creates instant focus. The second feels like an afterthought. Your brain is wired to perk up when it hears your name. It's literally the most important sound in the world to you. When someone uses it correctly, your unconscious mind thinks, this person sees me as important, and people are naturally drawn to those who make them feel important. Try this today. In your next conversation, use the person's name within the first 30 seconds. Watch how their posture changes, how they lean in slightly, how their attention locks onto you. It's almost unfair how well this works. Secret number 2, the mirror effect. Humans have a secret superpower that most people never consciously recognize. We're constantly scanning for similarity. When we find it, trust skyrockets instantly. This is called mirroring, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. The wrong way is copying someone's exact movements like a mime. That's creepy. The right way is subtle synchronization. If they speak slowly, you speak slowly. If they use their hands a lot while talking, you gradually incorporate more hand gestures. If they lean back in their chair, you relax your posture too. The key word is gradually. You want to match their energy, not mimic their every move. Here's why this works. On a subconscious level, when someone behaves similarly to us, our brain thinks, this person is like me, therefore they're safe and trustworthy. It bypasses all our social defenses. I once watched a master negotiator close $1 million deal primarily through mirroring. The client was high energy and spoke quickly. Instead of maintaining his usual calm demeanor, the negotiator matched that energy. Within minutes, they were finishing each other's sentences. The deal was done before lunch. Secret number 3, the Benjamin Franklin paradox. This one seems completely backwards, but it's incredibly powerful. If you want someone to like you more, don't do them a favor, ask them for one. Benjamin Franklin discovered this by accident. He had a political rival who couldn't stand him. Instead of trying to win him over with gifts or compliments, Franklin asked to borrow a rare book from the man's library. The rival agreed, and something strange happened. After doing Franklin this small favor, he became much friendlier toward him. Here's the psychology. When someone does you a favor, Their brain has to justify why they helped you. The easiest explanation is, I must like this person. It's called cognitive dissonance resolution. But there's an art to this. The favor has to be small enough that it's not a burden, but meaningful enough that they have to think about it. Could you help me move my couch? Is too big. Could you recommend a good restaurant? Is perfect. The most successful people I know are masters at this. They're constantly asking for small pieces of advice, minor recommendations, or brief opinions. Each time someone helps them, that person becomes more invested in their success. Secret number 4, the scarcity switch. Your brain has an ancient alarm system that goes off whenever something might disappear forever. When that alarm sounds, logic takes a back seat and emotion drives the car. This is scarcity psychology, and it's incredibly powerful when used ethically. The key is understanding that scarcity isn't about creating fake urgency. It's about highlighting genuine limitations. Instead of saying, this opportunity is available, try, this opportunity is only available to 3 people this month, and 2 spots are already filled. The second version triggers your brain's loss aversion system. But here's the crucial part. The scarcity must be real. If people discover you've manufactured urgency, trust evaporates permanently. However, when you honestly communicate genuine limitations, time constraints, limited availability, exclusive access, people respond with much more urgency and appreciation. I know an entrepreneur who filled his coaching program every month using this principle. Instead of accepting unlimited clients, he genuinely only took 5 new people monthly. When he explained this limitation honestly, people would sign up immediately rather than thinking about it for weeks. Secret number 5, the vulnerability bridge. Here's something that sounds risky, but is actually incredibly powerful. Strategic vulnerability creates instant connection. Most people think they need to appear perfect to be liked and respected. The opposite is true. When you share appropriate struggle or admit a reasonable weakness, people don't think less of you. They think you're more human, more trustworthy, more like them. The key is strategic vulnerability, not emotional dumping. Share something that shows you're human, but doesn't make others uncomfortable. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Works much better than deep personal trauma. Why does this work? Because vulnerability breaks down the invisible barriers between people. When you show that you're not perfect, others feel safe being imperfect around you. It creates psychological safety, which is the foundation of all strong relationships. Leaders who master this principle build incredibly loyal teams. Instead of pretending they have all the answers, they say things like, I'm not sure about this. What do you think? People don't lose respect. They gain it because they see authenticity and wisdom in knowing one's limitations. Secret number 6, the contrast principle. Your brain doesn't judge things in isolation. It judges them in comparison to what came before. This creates incredible opportunities for influence when you understand how to use contrast effectively. If you want someone to agree to a reasonable request, first make an unreasonable one. Not to manipulate, but to provide context. If you ultimately want someone to meet for 30 minutes, first ask if they'd be available for a 2-hour consultation. When they say that's too long, your 30-minute request seems incredibly reasonable by comparison. This works in reverse too. If you want to highlight the value of something, first show them the expensive option, then present the one you actually want them to choose. Car salespeople have used this for decades. They show you the luxury model first, making the mid-range option seem like a bargain. The most elegant use of contrast is in storytelling. When describing a success, first paint the picture of the struggle that preceded it. The victory feels more significant because of the contrast with the difficulty. Secret number 7, The authority shortcut. Humans are wired to look for authority figures, people who can guide us safely through complex decisions. But you don't need decades of expertise to create authority. You just need to demonstrate competence in specific, relevant ways. The fastest way to establish authority is through specificity. Instead of saying, "I have experience in marketing," say, "I've run 47 Facebook ad campaigns for small businesses with an average return of $3.20 for every dollar spent." The specificity creates instant credibility. Another powerful technique is borrowed authority. Reference credible sources, according to a Harvard Business School study, or as recommended by the American Medical Association. You're not claiming to be the authority. You're aligning yourself with recognized authorities. The most sophisticated approach is teaching authority. When you teach someone something valuable, even something small, their brain automatically categorizes you as knowledgeable. This is why giving away your best insights often leads to more opportunities, not fewer. Secret number 8, the social proof accelerator. Humans are social creatures who constantly look to others for guidance on what's normal, acceptable, or desirable. But most people use social proof incorrectly. They use it too broadly. Generic social proof, like thousands of satisfied customers, is weak. Specific social proof, like 87% of accountants who tried this method increased their efficiency within 2 weeks, is incredibly powerful because it's relevant and specific. The most effective social proof is similar other proof. People don't care what everyone thinks. They care what people like them think. A busy parent doesn't care about testimonials from college students. They want to hear from other busy parents. Here's an advanced technique: anticipatory social proof. Instead of just showing what others have done, show what others are planning to do. 3 companies in your industry have already scheduled implementations for next quarter. Creates urgency because it suggests you might be left behind. Secret number 9, the emotional elevator. Every interaction involves emotions, but most people ignore them completely. When you learn to acknowledge and validate emotions, you gain incredible influence. Emotional validation doesn't mean agreeing with someone's conclusions. It means acknowledging their feelings as legitimate. That sounds incredibly frustrating. Or, "I can understand why you'd be excited about that," are simple phrases that create instant connection. Here's why this works. When people feel heard and understood emotionally, their defensive walls come down. They become more open to new ideas, more willing to consider alternatives, and more likely to trust you. The most powerful version of this is emotional labeling. When you can accurately identify and name what someone is feeling, it creates an almost magical connection. It seems like you're torn between being excited about the opportunity and concerned about the risks. Shows incredible emotional intelligence. Secret number 10, the curiosity gap. Your brain has an irresistible urge to close information gaps. When you create curiosity correctly, people become almost compelled to keep listening. The key is opening loops, starting stories, asking intriguing questions, or making surprising statements that you don't immediately resolve. The biggest mistake most people make in negotiations is something that seems helpful, creates a curiosity gap. Your brain wants to know what that mistake is. But there's an art to this. Open too many loops and people get confused. Take too long to close them and people get frustrated. The sweet spot is opening one compelling loop, then closing it with valuable information before opening the next one. Master communicators use this constantly. They structure entire presentations as a series of curiosity gaps. There are 3 reasons this approach works so well. The first one is obvious. The second one will surprise you, but the third one is something I've never shared publicly before. Secret number 11, the reciprocity engine. Humans have a powerful psychological need to return favors, but most people think reciprocity only works with big gestures. The truth is, small acts of genuine generosity often create stronger obligations than large ones. The key is giving first, without being asked, and without expecting anything specific in return. Share a useful article, make a valuable introduction, or offer a small piece of helpful advice. The person's brain automatically keeps track of this kindness and looks for ways to return it. But here's the crucial part. The gesture must be personalized and thoughtful. Generic gifts or help feel manipulative. When you take the time to offer something specifically valuable to that individual, it feels genuine and creates real obligation. I've seen people build entire careers on strategic generosity. They're constantly adding value to others' lives in small ways. Over time, they build an incredible network of people who want to help them succeed. Secret number 12, the future pull. Most influence attempts focus on present benefits, but the most powerful motivation comes from helping people envision a better future version of themselves. Instead of just describing what you're offering, paint a picture of who they'll become when they have it. Don't just sell a fitness program. Help them imagine how confident they'll feel walking into any room. Don't just pitch a business idea. Help them visualize the freedom and impact they'll have. This works because identity is incredibly powerful. People will do almost anything to remain consistent with how they see themselves. When you help someone envision a better version of themselves, they become motivated to make that vision reality. The most effective way to do this is through future pacing, describing specific scenarios in their improved future. Imagine walking into your office 6 months from now, knowing that your team runs smoothly without your constant supervision. Picture having the confidence to delegate important projects because you've built systems that work. These 12 secrets aren't really secrets at all. They're insights into how every human brain works. The reason they feel so powerful is that most people never think consciously about the psychological factors that drive their decisions. But here's what's important. These techniques work best when you use them to genuinely help people, not manipulate them. When your intent is to create value for others, these principles become tools for building stronger relationships and creating better outcomes for everyone. The people who master these skills aren't the ones who use them to get what they want. They're the ones who use them to help others get what they want. And paradoxically, that's exactly how they end up getting everything they want too. The difference between influence and manipulation is simple. Influence serves the other person's interests as well as your own. Manipulation only serves your interests. When you keep that distinction clear, these principles become incredibly powerful tools for creating positive change in the world. Now here's my challenge for you. Pick one of these 12 secrets and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Don't try to master all of them at once. That's a recipe for feeling overwhelmed and giving up. Instead, choose the one that resonates most with you and focus on it completely. Maybe it's using people's names more effectively. Maybe it's asking for small favors instead of always offering help. Maybe it's creating curiosity gaps in your conversations. Whatever you choose, practice it consciously until it becomes natural. And here's why this matters. In a world where everyone is distracted, where genuine connection feels increasingly rare, the person who understands how to create real human connection has an incredible advantage. Not just in business or career success, but in building relationships that matter, having conversations that count, and making an impact that lasts. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear which principle you're going to focus on first. Leave a comment and let me know. And if you found value in this, share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is help someone else discover their own potential for positive influence.